up, Taiwan? I'm Erika Liu with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. Hong Kongers joined locals at a memorial vigil in Taipei for a recent deadly fire in their home city. While most came to mourn, some saw it as a chance to speak out. Irene Lin was there.
Here at Taipei's Liberty Plaza, people are remembering the victims of last week's devastating fire in Hong Kong, laying down flowers in tribute to the scores of people killed. At least 159 people died and hundreds remain missing after one of the biggest fires in the city's history ripped through the Wang food court apartment complex. In Taipei, prayers were folded into origami cranes and placed in the shape of Hong Kong. Organizers say the vigil gives Hong Kongers a place to come together and mourn.
它对于香港人来说也是一个集体的创伤，就是可能有些台湾朋友他们不一定很清楚这个脉络，就是香港的很多人应该有一半以上，他们住在的住宅形式都跟鸿福苑非常的相似。我也相信在这样的时刻，也必须要有人去，站出来，让大家有一个空间可以去共同的哀伤。
And while the mood here is solemn, anger and frustration lay just beneath the surface. Taiwan is home to a large community of Hong Kongers, many of whom came after China clamped down on the city's freedoms. Some attendees said while they want justice for the fire victims, they're afraid to speak up because of pressure from Beijing.
其实也是蛮无奈的，对，因为我们可能一开始我们的初衷只是想要帮一些居民去争取他们原有的权益，或者是要了解这件事的真相，但结果好像是，该怎么说，就是会感觉被政治化。
其实第一天很伤心，因为其实有朋友啊，跟朋友的朋友都在里面住，然后也第二天有消失，然后。有些朋友的朋友也是已经离开了，然后香港有一些学生会也说，即使是香港人啊，要讲这个事情也不能讲，就是没有一个言论自由。
在香港，有时候有些言论讲一些言论会被就是政府所管制，但是台湾就不会有这种情况，所以台湾人应该珍惜这个机会，然后呢，也可以让香港人来进行这种。 安全的进行这种活动，不会被这些对岸影响。
On Saturday night, politics took a backseat in Taipei as attendees from Hong Kong and Taiwan remember those injured were killed. This downtown plaza has witnessed countless protests and vigils, and now it's offering a safe place for people whose heart break for the tragedy in Hong Kong to heal in solidarity. Fu Huahong and Irene Lin in Taipei for TaiwanPlus.
China's National Security Office has warned foreign media about its coverage of the recent deadly Wang food court fire. In a statement, Hong Kong's National Security Office told foreign media not to spread what it called false information or to smear the government's disaster response. The warning comes amid public anger over the Wang food court fire, which killed at least 159 people. Authorities have detained several activists under the city's Beijing-imposed national security law, including a student who petitioned for answers about the blaze and another person who posted about it online. Chinese ships, balloons, and exercises are keeping Taiwan's military and Coast Guard on edge this weekend. Authorities say Beijing is testing Taiwan's defenses without triggering open conflict. Our reporter Larry Isiano has the latest.
These photos from Chinese state media show what Beijing is calling an emergency search and rescue drill in the Taiwan Strait. But in Taiwan, a country that China threatens to invade, the Coast Guard is calling foul. They say Beijing misrepresented the ship's location to intimidate Taiwan, saying it was on the Taiwan bank. This portrayed the operation as being much closer to Taiwan's main island than it was. In reality, Taiwan's Coast Guard says the ships were near Chinese coastal waters, west of the median line that divides the strait.
又再用鱼目混珠的不实言辞混淆海域位置，企图对我国进行灰色地带侵扰跟认知作战。
Taiwan Coast Guard officials say it is an example of Chinese gray zone warfare, meaning hostile actions that fall short of conflict but seek to degrade Taiwan's defenses. Experts say Beijing may be trying to influence perceptions of what territory it controls.
都是中共，他企图在第一岛链以西，就是掌握这个主权治权。
This weekend, Taiwan's defense ministry also said a Chinese balloon crossed much of the country's airspace before disappearing northwest of Geelong on Sunday. And Beijing announced week-long live-fire exercises in the Bohai Strait and Yellow Sea amid rising tensions with Japan. All this comes just days after the recently released U.S. national security strategy called for measures to deter a military takeover of Taiwan or the South China Sea. Taken together, these developments underscore rising tensions in the region, with Taiwan, its neighbors, and the U.S. watching Beijing closely, all while being wary of actions or statements that mislead or misrepresent the situation. Devin Tsai and Larry Ciano for TaiwanPlus.
Tensions between Tokyo and Beijing continue to simmer after Chinese military jets reportedly locked onto Japanese fighters near Okinawa. Japan's defense ministry said Chinese carrier jets targeted Japanese aircraft with fire control radar in 2 separate incidents on Saturday. This type of radar is used to guide missiles to their targets. The incidents come shortly after Japan announced plans to deploy an anti-aircraft electronic warfare unit to Yonaguni Island, about 110 kilometers from Taiwan. Tensions between the two countries have been high since Japanese Prime Minister Takaichi Sanae said her military could respond if China attacked Taiwan. You just heard about the Japanese island of Yonaguni, located only about 100 kilometers off the east coast of Taiwan. For more about this island and the role it could play in a conflict over Taiwan, we bring you this excerpt from the TaiwanPlus series, Frontline Residents.
The Japanese government, in preparation for potential contingency in Taiwan, has been strengthening its military capabilities and constructing bases. And in 2023, it began developing a large-scale evacuation plan. This plan outlines that in the event of an emergency, the approximately 110,000 residents from the Yaeyama and Miyako Islands will be urgently evacuated to Kyushu within several dozen hours. However, at the announcement of this plan, many local residents and stakeholders voiced strong opposition via protests. We interviewed Sugama Koji, who is responsible for the island's evacuation plan at the Yonaguni Town Hall. He provided a detailed explanation of Okinawa Prefecture's official island evacuation plan. According to this plan, in the event of an emergency, residents of Yonaguni Island will be evacuated to Kyushu within 24 hours, and within 5 days, about 110,000 residents from all the remote islands of Okinawa will be evacuated. If the evacuation were to be triggered, all residents of Yonaguni Island, including those from the villages of Sonai, Kubura, and Higawa, would be scheduled to move to Yonaguni Airport by bus. To evacuate all residents of Yonaguni Island within a day, 11 flights will be arranged to transfer them from Yonaguni Island to Fukuoka City. Upon arrival in Fukuoka City, residents will be transferred by bus to the evacuation center in Saga Prefecture. For residents with special considerations, such as those with pets, the elderly, and the people with disabilities or medical conditions, arrangement will be made for them to travel to Ishigaki Island by ferry. After arriving on Ishigaki Island, these residents will join the residents of the Yaeyama Islands and fly to Fukuoka City. Upon reaching the city, all residents will be transported to evacuation centers across the Kyushu region. Based on the current plan, the Japanese government aims to successfully evacuate all the residents of the Miyako and Yaeyama Islands, which include Yonaguni, a total population of around 110,000 people, within 1 to 2 days. If the ferry lines between the Yaeyama Islands and Taiwan are operational, could they become an alternative evacuation route for Taiwanese residents or Japanese citizens in Taiwan? Could this route connect Taiwan to Yonaguni or Ishigaki Island during an emergency?
To watch the full series of Frontline Residents, head over to the TaiwanPlus website or YouTube channel. Over 900 people have now been confirmed dead in recent floods and landslides in western Indonesia. Over 400 people are still missing after a recent cyclone flooded the island of Sumatra. Deforestation linked to mining and logging may have worsened the effects. Heavy monsoon rains and cyclones have led to catastrophic flooding in the region, also killing around 200 people in southern Thailand and Malaysia. More than 1 million people have been displaced across South and Southeast Asia. Dolphin performances in Taiwan will stop next year, but releasing captive dolphins into the wild is nearly impossible. So what becomes of them and their trainers? TaiwanPlus is back for part 2 of this special report.
In 2026, Taiwan will join a growing list of countries, including Mexico, Costa Rica, and Chile, to ban dolphin shows. But while the performances may end, the dolphins at the Far Glory Ocean Park will remain in captivity.
第一个就是它的生命年龄，被圈养的这个鲸豚，它个体它的生命年龄已经是比较大的了，那它很可能在这部分的野放的可能性就会比较低。那再来另外一个条件就是说，它被圈养的时间长跟短。对，如果它圈养的时间已经很长，可能10年、20年。那这个相较起来的话，它可能已经形成了一种惯性。那这种惯性就是它可能失去了一些能力，包括像是去捕捉鱼的能力。
In most cases, reintegrating captive animals into the wild is very costly and very difficult. While some countries like Iceland have had success using large pens set up at sea, Taiwan's geography and climate make this hard.
它最主要就是台风的风险。因为台湾就是在一个就是多台风的地方，那这些动物它如果被固定在一个范围内，但是这个范围内可以做的保护的措施又不够多，但台风来的时候，那个浪的影响很可能反而会让这些动物变得是很动荡、很受伤，那很有可能它就会在里面不小心的因为浪来了，然后撞击到礁岩还是怎么样的状态下受伤。
However, there could still be other options for the future of these dolphins.
That doesn't mean they can't be sent to a sanctuary somewhere else. Okay, they came from somewhere. Most of the animals in Taiwan aren't necessarily from Taiwanese waters, right? Somebody sent them there. It can be done in reverse, if you will. You can send them to a sanctuary that's been established somewhere else that is safe and protected. I'm not saying that's been done yet. We are still working on the concept for whales and dolphins. It's complex.
With no real possibility of release and the show's ending, Tien and his team will see their official titles changed from trainers to caregivers in 2026. The training they used to use to amuse audiences will be turned to day-to-day care for the animals.
For decades, signals like these have been used to ask dolphins to perform tricks, and sometimes they can also be used during health checks. For example, by doing this, I can ask the dolphin to open its mouth.
Tricks like that help caretakers check the dolphin's health. And for Tien, caring for the animals is more than a job.
因为它的一整天就是必须要靠我去帮它维持它的一些健康状态。对，所以有像我自己照顾的海豚，它其实是一开始非常害羞的动物。那跟它照顾了这么久之后，它慢慢的愿意接近我。我觉得这是一种互相信任的一个过程啊。我觉得我们之间更像是一个合作很久的伙伴的感觉。
With the special bond with the dolphins, Tien says his responsibilities won't change, even after the performances end. He will continue to work with and care for the animals, and welcome not only the final curtain fall on dolphin shows, but also Taiwan's evolving approach to animal welfare. For Hong, Howard Zhang, Bryn Thomas, and Sandy Chi for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. You can visit the TaiwanPlus website or follow our social media for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally, we leave you with images of superheroes as they bring Christmas cheer to a children's hospital in Kosovo. I'm Erika Liu. Take care and see you next time.